Welcome to Rare Coins Collections. Today's video. If you're a coin enthusiast or someone who loves to learn about rare and valuable items, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history, the United States of America 1-cent Lincoln Wheat Penny from 1944. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual viewer, there's something exciting about discovering the hidden gems in your coin collection. So, let's get started. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds a unique place in the world of numismatics, and it's easy to see why. On its surface, it looks like an ordinary penny, but if you know what to look for, this humble coin can actually be worth thousands of dollars. Let's break down exactly what makes the 1944 Wheat Penny stand out from the rest. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, minted from 1909 to 1958, is well known among collectors for its iconic design. The obverse features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse shows two stalks of wheat, giving the coin its signature, wheat, look. But what makes the 1944 Wheat Penny so valuable is more than just its age. It's about its historical significance and the rare errors that make certain 1944 pennies stand out even more. One of the key features of the 1944 Wheat Penny is its composition. In 1944, due to World War II, the U.S. Treasury made a change in the material of the penny. Instead of the usual copper, pennies were made from steel that had been coated with zinc. However, some pennies in 1944 were accidentally struck using leftover copper planchets. This is a rare error, and it's this mistake that makes certain 1944 pennies worth far more than their face value. So, how do you spot these error coins? It's actually easier than you might think. First, you'll need to check the weight of the penny. A standard 1944 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams, but a 1944 copper penny will be significantly heavier. If you have a scale that measures to the hundredth of a gram, you can easily check if the penny is made of copper or steel. A copper 1944 penny will weigh closer to 3.3 grams, which is a clear indicator of the error. Another thing to look out for is the color. Copper is naturally a reddish-brown color, so if your 1944 penny looks like it has that distinct reddish tint, it's likely the rare copper version. On the other hand, the steel penny will have a much duller, silver appearance, similar to a shiny new dime. If you notice these key differences, you might just have a coin worth much more than 1 cent. Now, let's talk about the big question: how valuable is the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny? Well, the value depends on the rarity and condition of the coin. A typical 1944 steel penny is worth just a few cents, but the real value comes from the copper era coins. Some of these can sell for anywhere between $2,700 and $40,000. That's right, depending on the quality and rarity of the copper penny you have, it could be worth a small fortune. A well-preserved 1944 copper penny in mint condition could fetch thousands at auctions, making it one of the most sought-after coins for serious collectors. But don't just take my word for it, coin dealers and collectors alike are always on the lookout for these rare coins. When a 1944 copper penny goes to auction, the bidding can get competitive, and prices can skyrocket. So, if you find one in your collection, it's definitely worth getting it appraised. Now, let's recap what you need to remember when looking for a valuable 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Pay close attention to the weight and color. If you have a 1944 penny that weighs more than 3.1 grams and has a reddish tint, it could be one of the rare copper versions. The condition of the coin matters too. The better the condition, the higher the price it can command. A well-preserved 1944 copper penny could potentially sell for thousands of dollars. Before we wrap up, I want to ask all of you, have you ever come across a rare or valuable coin in your collection? If so, what was it, and how much was it worth? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies ever minted in the United States, the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This small, humble coin has some truly remarkable features that make it incredibly valuable, so if you're a collector or someone looking to learn more about rare coins, stay tuned. the Lincoln Wheat Penny is a classic in the world of American numismatics, and the 1949 version is no exception. With its iconic design featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the front and two stalks of wheat on the reverse, it may look like just another penny to the casual observer. But for collectors, the 1949 Wheat Penny is a coin with a lot of potential, especially if you know what to look for. So let's break down why this particular coin is so valuable. To start, let's talk about the key features of the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny. These coins were minted in 1949 as part of the ongoing series of pennies that ran from 1909 to 1958. The reverse of the penny, known as the wheat reverse, showcases two stalks of wheat, which gives the coin its signature look. The obverse, or front, features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, with the date, 1949, stamped beneath his image. Now, while this may seem like a typical wheat penny, what makes the 1949 version so interesting and valuable comes down to some important details. The 1949 penny was produced in fairly large quantities, which means most of the coins in circulation aren't all that rare. However, certain specific features, particularly errors that happened during the minting process, are what really drive up the value for collectors. One of the most common errors on the 1949 penny involves what's called a filled die error. This happens when dirt or debris gets trapped in the minting die, causing parts of the design to appear blurry or even partially missing. On a 1949 wheat penny, you may notice that the date or lettering isn't as clear or sharp as it should be. This error can make the coin significantly more valuable, so if you're looking through your collection or searching for rare coins, definitely keep an eye out for this. Another important factor to consider when identifying a valuable 1949 penny is its condition. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny, like many other coins, has a grading system that defines its value. Coins in higher grades, those that have minimal wear and maintain sharp details, are worth much more than coins that are worn or damaged. A penny in mint or uncirculated condition could be worth far more than one that shows heavy signs of use. So, if you come across a 1949 penny that looks pristine or close to mint, it could be a valuable addition to your collection. Now, you might be wondering, why exactly is the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny so valuable? There are a few reasons. First, coins that are in excellent condition or feature rare errors are always highly sought after by collectors. Collecting coins is not just about the face value, it's about rarity, condition, and the story behind the coin. The 1949 penny, with its potential for error coins and high-grade examples, is a piece of American history that many numismatists desire. In terms of actual value, the price of a 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny can vary widely depending on its condition and whether it has any notable errors. A typical 1949 penny in average condition is worth only a few cents. However, if you find a 1949 penny with a filled die error, or if it's in excellent uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a much higher value. Some of these rare coins have been known to fetch anywhere from $2,700 to $43,000 at auction, depending on the specific details of the coin. So, how do you spot a valuable 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny? First, always check the condition. Look for signs of wear on the date and the wheat stalks. The sharper the details, the better. If the penny has a blurry or incomplete date, that could be the result of a filled die error, which is a huge indicator that the coin might be worth more. Next, check for any other unusual features. Some collectors also look for pennies with double strikes or other minting errors, which can make a coin even rarer and more valuable. Pay attention to the clarity of the design. A crisp, well-defined penny is always going to be more valuable than one that looks worn or damaged. Now, here's an interesting question for you. Have you ever come across a 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny with an error? Or perhaps you've spotted a coin in your collection that you think could be worth a lot more than it seems? I'd love to hear about your experiences, so drop a comment below and let me know if you've ever found a rare coin like this. To recap, the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny is valuable because of its historical significance, the possibility of rare minting errors, and the condition of the coin. If you've got a 1949 penny in great shape or one with a unique error, it might just be worth more than you think. From the typical value of just a few cents to the potential for rare examples to sell for $2,700 to $43,000, it's definitely a coin worth checking out in your collection. Today's video is a real treat. We're going to take an in-depth look at the United States 1-cent Lincoln Wheat Penny from 1945, a coin that might just be hiding in your collection or your spare change, and could be worth a lot more than you think. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the fascinating world of the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny may look like just another penny. However, to a seasoned collector or numismatist, this seemingly simple coin has some key features that make it special, and even valuable. Let's start by understanding what makes the 1945 version stand out from the rest of the series. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first minted in 1909, and it remained in circulation until 1958. The 1945 version of this iconic coin was produced at a time when the country was still recovering from World War II, and it's a part of the larger series that includes millions of pennies with subtle variations and nuances. On the obverse side of the coin, we see the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, with the year 1945 stamped just below. The reverse, featuring two stalks of wheat, is what gives the coin its nickname, the Wheat Penny. So, why is the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny so valuable? Well, a big part of its worth comes from its relative scarcity in certain grades and the presence of some rare minting errors. Most of the 1945 pennies were produced in large quantities, so finding one in average condition might not lead to a huge payout. However, if you're lucky enough to stumble upon a 1945 penny with certain characteristics, it could be worth far more than the 1-cent value. Let's talk about the key features and what to look for when determining whether your 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is valuable. One of the first things to examine is the overall condition of the coin. Like many other coins, the grade, or condition, of the coin plays a huge role in its value. A penny in pristine, uncirculated condition will always fetch a much higher price than one that's worn, scratched, or damaged. The second thing to watch for are minting errors. While most of the 1945 pennies were made without issue, there were a few that experienced mishaps during the production process. For example, one of the most common errors you'll want to look out for on a 1945 penny is the D/S mintmark error. This happens when a mintmark from a previous year, in this case, the S mintmark from 1944, is partially visible under the D mintmark on a 1945 penny. It's a fascinating example of a mistake made during the minting process, and it can add significant value to the coin. Another error you might come across is a double die or double strike error. This occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, leading to a blurry or doubled image. On a 1945 penny, you might notice that the date, the letters, or even the portrait of Lincoln are duplicated, which can make the coin highly desirable to collectors. When checking for these errors, always be sure to inspect both sides of the penny. The reverse side, featuring the wheat stalks, is just as important as the obverse, and these errors can sometimes appear on either side of the coin. So, now you're probably wondering, why is a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny worth so much money? Well, the short answer is that certain 1945 pennies are rare, and their condition or errors make them incredibly valuable. A typical 1945 penny in decent condition might only be worth a few cents, but a well-preserved penny with an error could be worth thousands. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these rare coins, and it's not unheard of for some 1945 pennies to fetch prices between $2,700 and $47,000 at auction. The rarity of these error coins is what makes them so valuable. There simply aren't that many out there in pristine condition, and even fewer with notable errors like the D/S or double die strikes. These coins are a piece of American history, and their scarcity makes them highly sought after by serious collectors. Now that we know why the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is valuable, let's discuss how you can spot one in your collection. The first thing you should do is examine the overall condition of the penny. If it looks well worn or heavily damaged, it's probably not going to be worth much. However, if it's in great shape, it's worth taking a closer look. Next, check the mint mark. If you notice a D mint mark over an S, congratulations, you may have found one of the rarest and most valuable errors out there. Additionally, inspect the coin for any signs of double striking or blurry text and images. If you spot any of these errors, you've got yourself a true treasure. Finally, consider the coin's overall appeal. A penny that has a clean, well-defined image of Abraham Lincoln and sharp wheat stalks is going to be much more valuable than a penny that's covered in dirt or corrosion. If your coin is in great shape, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Before we wrap up, I'd love to know, have you ever come across a 1945 Lincoln wheat penny with any errors, or do you have any rare coins in your collection that you suspect might be worth more than face value? Leave a comment below and share your coin collecting experiences with us. We'd love to hear from you. So, there you have it, the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny is a truly fascinating and valuable coin, especially if it has the right features and errors. From the potential for D over S mint mark errors to the possibility of a double die strike, these pennies can be worth anywhere from $2,700 to $47,000, depending on their condition and rarity. If you're a collector, it's definitely worth taking a closer look at your pennies from 1945. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic and fascinating coins ever minted in the United States, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny. You might have a few of these pennies tucked away in your collection or even mixed in with your loose change, but today we're going to show you why this seemingly ordinary penny can actually be worth thousands of dollars. The Lincoln wheat penny, first minted in 1909, is one of the most well-known coins in American numismatics. By 1957, the series was nearing its end. The wheat design would officially be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. But what makes the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny stand out, and why do collectors go crazy over it? Let's take a deeper look at its key features, the errors to watch out for, and what makes it so valuable. First, let's talk about the key features of the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny. On the front, you'll see the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, along with the year, 1957, stamped right below his bust. The reverse of the coin is where the iconic wheat stalks are located, two stalks of wheat that give this coin its signature, wheat design. These design features are what make the 1957 penny instantly recognizable, and they've been beloved by collectors for decades. Now, while the design of the coin is important, it's the condition and any minting errors that can really make a 1957 penny valuable. The vast majority of 1957 Lincoln wheat pennies were mass-produced and are relatively easy to find. However, certain variations and errors make some of them much rarer than others. And when it comes to rare coins, scarcity is what drives the value sky-high. One of the most notable errors that collectors search for in the 1957 penny is the double die error. A double die occurs when the coin is struck multiple times by the minting die, causing the design to be slightly duplicated. This can happen on either the obverse or reverse of the coin, but it's most noticeable on the date and the lettering. In the case of the 1957 penny, if you look closely at the date and the word Liberty on the obverse, you might notice that they appear slightly doubled. This is a significant minting error, and these pennies are highly sought after by collectors. Another thing to look out for is the condition of the coin. As with most coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. A 1957 Lincoln wheat penny that is in mint or uncirculated condition is going to be worth significantly more than a worn, heavily circulated one. When checking the condition, focus on the sharpness of the details. The portrait of Lincoln, the wheat stalks, and the lettering should all be clear and crisp if the coin is in good shape. If the coin has been well preserved, it might just be worth much more than its face value. Now, you might be asking, why is the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny so valuable? The main reason comes down to its rarity, especially when it comes to those error coins or those in excellent condition. While 1957 pennies were minted in large quantities, coins with double die errors or those that are in nearly perfect condition are incredibly rare. These rare coins are highly coveted by collectors, and when one of them comes up for sale at an auction, the bidding can get pretty competitive. the value of the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny can vary widely depending on the condition and any errors the coin might have. A standard 1957 penny in average condition is typically worth just a few cents. However, if you're lucky enough to find a 1957 penny with a noticeable double die error or one that's in pristine condition, you could be looking at a much higher value. The price range for these rare coins can go anywhere from $2,600 to $41,000, depending on the specific details, the condition of the coin, and the level of rarity. So, how can you spot a valuable 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny in your collection? Start by examining the date and the lettering on the coin. Look for any signs of doubling in the numbers or letters. This is one of the most obvious indicators that you've got a rare double die error. You'll also want to carefully inspect the overall condition of the coin. If it looks worn or scratched, it's probably not going to be worth much. But if Today, we're going to explore a coin that's been on the radar of serious collectors for decades, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny. You might think, it's just a penny, right? Well, you'd be surprised at how much this particular penny can be worth, especially if you know exactly what to look for. Whether you're an experienced coin collector or a newcomer just starting to explore the world of numismatics, this video is packed with valuable insights you don't want to miss. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny was part of the long-running series of pennies minted from 1909 to 1958, which are still cherished by collectors to this day. While it might seem like just another penny from the past, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds some unique characteristics that can make it incredibly valuable in certain circumstances. Let's dive into the key features of this coin and discuss what makes it so special. First, let's talk about the basic design. The obverse side of the 1953 penny features a profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The year 1953 is stamped below his bust, along with the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." On the reverse side, we see the iconic wheat stalks, two sheaves of wheat that give the coin its wheat design. It's a simple yet elegant design that has become an emblem of American currency. So, what makes the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny worth so much more than its 1-cent face value? The truth is, not every 1953 penny will bring in a large sum of money. Like most coins, its value is heavily influenced by its condition and the presence of any minting errors. While most 1953 pennies were produced in high numbers and circulated widely, certain rare versions of this coin are much more valuable than others. Let's explore what errors and conditions make the 1953 penny so sought after. Point 1 of the most common and valuable errors to look out for on the 1953 penny is the double die error. A double die error occurs when the coin is struck twice by the minting die, causing the design to appear doubled. On a 1953 penny, this is most commonly seen in the lettering and the date. You might notice that the 5 in 1953 or the word Liberty appears to have a slightly doubled image. These errors are caused by the minting process and can significantly increase the value of the coin. Another minting error to be aware of is the repunched mintmark error. This happens when a mintmark, such as the D or S mintmark, is struck more than once, leaving behind a second, weaker impression. On a 1953 penny, the D mintmark could appear repunched, which makes the coin much more valuable to collectors who are hunting for rare variations. Aside from errors, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. As with most coins, a penny that has been well preserved is far more valuable than one that is heavily worn or damaged. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that are in near mint or uncirculated condition. These coins have sharp details, clear lettering, and minimal signs of wear. If you find a 1953 penny that looks like it's been untouched by time, it could be worth much more than its face value. Now, you might be wondering why a seemingly ordinary penny from 1953 can be worth so much money. Well, the key factor is rarity. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny, when found in excellent condition or with rare minting errors, is a valuable collector's item because of its relative scarcity. Despite being produced in large quantities, the specific errors or high-quality examples that survive today are limited. This makes those coins more desirable, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to add them to their collections. So, how do you spot a valuable 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny? First and foremost, start by examining the condition of the coin. Look for sharp, clean details, particularly around the date and the wheat stalks. The sharper the details, the more likely it is that the coin is in higher grade, which increases its value. If the coin shows signs of heavy wear or scratches, it's probably not going to be worth much. Next, check for any minting errors, such as a double die or repunched mint mark. Look closely at the 1953 date and the word Liberty for any signs of doubling. A coin with a clear double die error can be worth a significant amount more than a regular 1953 penny. Similarly, check the mint mark, if present, for any signs of a repunched mint mark, as this can also increase the coin's worth. Another tip when spotting a valuable 1953 penny is to examine the overall luster of the coin. A penny that has retained its original shine or has minimal tarnish is always worth more than one that has been heavily worn or discolored over the years. The more vibrant and fresh the coin looks, the more it could potentially fetch. If you're out hunting for rare coins or checking your own collection, it's important to be patient and thorough. These pennies are small, but they pack a big punch when it comes to value. A well-preserved 1953 penny with an error could be worth between $2,800 to $40,000, depending on its condition and rarity. Before we finish, let me know, have you ever found a rare penny in your collection or in your change that turned out to be worth more than you expected? Or maybe you've spotted a minting error on one of your coins and wondered how much it could be worth. Drop a comment below and share your experiences with us. So, there you have it, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a coin that every collector should keep an eye on. With its potential for double die errors, repunched mint marks, and pristine condition, this penny is much more valuable than most people realize. From a few dollars to thousands of dollars, this coin could be hiding in your collection, and now you know exactly what to look for. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another coin collecting tip or valuable insight. Good luck, and happy hunting for those rare treasures.